Be honest, do you actually follow the daily habits that separate the losing traders from the ones that make consistent profits from the markets? I know that 90% of the traders don't do this, and that's why they remain unprofitable. But in this video, I'm going to share the 5 untold habits that the highly successful traders use on a day-to-day basis to keep themselves profitable. Now, number 1 on this list is what you need to become better than the other 90% of traders. So make sure you get to find out what exactly it is. And maybe also in the comments, I need you to tell me in the comments which amongst these 5 habits have you currently been sleeping on. Now, of course, if you find this video helpful, please like the video, share it with a friend, because you never know, they might as well be sleeping on one of these habits. So please share it with them. It will definitely change how they trade. Are you one of those traders that just logs your wins and losses? I mean, when I check your journal, the only thing in there is maybe the trades you've won or lost. If you are that type of trader, no wonder you are still lagging and still lacking when it comes to actually becoming a profitable trader. When it comes to the profitable trader and the highly successful traders, they write down each and everything. On top of the wins and losses, they actually also journal their emotions. They write down exactly how they are feeling when it comes to their trades. They write down their mistakes and all the good things that they've done actually during that trade. So they keep actually writing this down, because remember, the more you actually track your behavior, the better you're going to become as a trader. Now, if you're out there and you do not keep a journal, I don't know what you're doing, but you are not trading. When it comes to successful trading, you must be able to keep a journal. You must always keep journaling, because it is from this past data or from this past historical data about your trading that you can actually be able to improve yourself as a trader. So start journaling. Go out there, I don't know, whichever way you can actually start journaling, whether using a pen and paper or pen and book, or maybe using a software. Like, there are so many softwares out there. You can use Notion, maybe TradeZilla, or even just an Excel sheet or a Google spreadsheet. You can actually use this to journal your trades, and this is how you're actually going to become a much better trader, for you to become a successful and consistently profitable trader. Let me ask you another question. Are you one of those traders that keeps forcing on trades, that even when actually your setup hasn't formed in the market, you want to put on a trade? If you are this type of trader, then I'm sorry, becoming profitable, becoming a successful trader is going to take you a much longer time, because when it comes to the highly successful traders, they actually sit back. They are always very patient. They are like a hunter out there that actually goes and sets their trap and only wait to actually go back and revisit that trap when it has actually caught the animal. So this is exactly how you need to be as a trader. Have a setup that you actually use to trade the markets. You do not have to go after every kind of trade. Have your A setup that you're always going to actually use to take your trades. You do not have to go after every kind of trade, because I've seen many of the unsuccessful traders, they are always going for the next trade. You know, they get out of this trade and immediately they want to look for the next opportunity. You do not have to do this. There's a big saying I like using, that less is more. When it comes to trading, this is very true. You do not have to do much. You realize and notice that the less things you actually do as a trader, the more money you're going to make from this market. So do not go after each and every trade. Have your A setup and only turn up to the markets when your A setup has actually formed or it has actually showed up in the market. So this is exactly how you need to do it, not going for each and every trade or each and every opportunity that you see out there in the market. Now, this next one is one of those habits I've seen in all unsuccessful traders. If you are this type of trader, then it's probably the reason you're still unprofitable. When it comes to the profitable traders, they do not actually look at the money they are going to make in that particular trade. They focus on the risk. So they actually keep asking themselves before they enter the trade, how much am I willing to actually risk on this particular trade, not how much they are going to actually make on that particular trade. If you start seeing things this way, you'll be amazed by how you're going to actually start improving in your trading. Do not focus on how much you're going to make on that trade, because as the opportunity shows up for an unprofitable trader, they only look at, oh, on this trade I'll be able to make maybe 5,000 US dollars, and guess what, they go ahead, maybe over risk and do all it takes to actually get into that trade, and guess what, it ends up going against them, and they lose quite a significant figure. So you do not have to be like this. Focus on how much you're willing to actually risk on that particular trade. So this means you need to know exactly the lot size you're going to use, the stop loss that you're going to use, what's your risk to reward ratio on that particular trade. So this is how the successful traders actually look at things. They do not look at the money they're going to make on that particular trade. So implement this in your trading, and you'll be amazed by how your results are going to actually change as you trade on your day-to-day basis. Here's another question for you. What are your daily habits like? What do you do apart from the trading? Because when it comes to the successful traders, they mind more about their mind. They always think on exactly how they're going to improve their mindset. You find them doing things like meditation. They always work out. They go to the gym, maybe go for a jog to basically try and sharpen their mind. So this is what actually makes them stand out. This next comment I'm going to make might sound very mean, but I've never seen a fat trader. They're not there simply because the good traders, or the traders that actually really consistently make money from these markets, they look after themselves. They actually go work out. They are always active. They have an active mind and body. So this enables them actually become very sharp, that when they sit on their desk, or when they sit at their desk, they're able to actually do the right things because their mind is not clogged by anything out there. So this is how you need to be. If you really want to become a better trader, if you want to become a successful trader, you must actually work on your mental side of things, because if you do not, trust me, it will take you quite much longer for you to become a successful trader. And then habit number 1 is thinking in probabilities, not certainties. When it comes to the highly successful traders, this is the one thing they actually do better than anyone out there. They do not look at only that one trade and say, this trade must be a winner. They actually think in probabilities. They think about the next 10 trades they're going to take. So since they already have an edge in the market, that let's say they have a 50% win rate, they only evaluate themselves after 10 trades. They actually ask themselves, in the past 10 trades, did my edge work out? Did I actually manage to get the 5 trades that I always have to get out of the 10? So if it actually worked out great, then they move on to the next trades, not evaluating themselves after a trade by trade kind of basis. Because I've seen so many traders, they lose a trade and they lose it just simply because they cannot look at the bigger picture. You need to actually look at the bigger picture. Do not evaluate yourself after just a single trade. So if you start doing it this way, you'll be amazed by how your trading is actually going to improve. Now, I don't know if you know this, but recently I made a video where I shared the 5 lessons I learned after taking more than 1,000 trades. So I suggest you check out that video, because it will be able to teach you the lessons you need to actually go through if you really need to become a profitable trader. If you want to become profitable, check out that video. It will definitely be able to help you.